All right. What's up, you guys? How you guys doing? Thank you guys for joining Money Shot Mondays. We are back and we are back live. I'm so excited. Y'all, if you can hear and see me clearly, drop a one in the group chat. Let me make sure you can hear and see me clearly. Drop a one in the group chat. I see Nisha here. Hey, I see Tia. Thank you, girl. Thank you, Nisha. But yes, y'all, if you can hear and see me clearly, let me know. Let me know. Drop a one in the chat. All right, perfect. All right, I see the chat box is a little bit delayed. Well, I'm so excited, y'all. We are back. It's 2024 and it's a new year. We're about to have some fun, and I have the first guest of Money Shot Monday. Money Shot Monday, y'all. This is the very first guest. Y'all, last week we did our first call, and we're just back, and I'm excited, and we have so much greatness in store. But before we get started, before I bring him on stage, y'all, I just want to have some tentative things, some announcements to bring to y'all. So, y'all, if you didn't know, I last week I announced this. Y'all, enrollment is officially open for the 4 week photography business bootcamp is officially open. Y'all, I literally have like 3 more slots left. That's it. Remember, I told you last week I'm only accepting 10 people. So if you want to be one of those people, go to meccaclarkphoto.com and yeah, go to meccaclarkphoto.com/photographer, or I'm dropping in the chat box if you want to sign up and you want to see more information about what we're doing with the 4 week bootcamp. We're covering all the bases, you guys, all the foundational things that you need to start your photography business. We're going over portfolio building, website building, systems, pricing, and marketing. So make sure you're tuned in. I just dropped in the chat box. 3 slots left, y'all. Three. That's it. And we're done. But without further ado, you guys, I'm gonna go ahead and bring up our guest, our special guest tonight. Y'all, this is a good friend of mine, and I'm excited to have him on this call. One, he's been supposed to be on this call a long time ago, but God is timing. I always say God's timing. But not only am I a fan of his work, I'm also a huge fan of his work ethic. I've seen him evolve and grow since he's moved here from Florida, I believe. Yeah, since he's moved here from Florida, I've seen him literally blow up his business and go so far in the space, making well over 6 figures, have an amazing body of clientele, work, just everything from the style. He's so unique and so distinct, and when you see his work, when you see Adonis D photo. So, what better person to bring in and start the new year off with our first guest than your boy Adonis D? Y'all not give him some virtual claps in the chat box. So y'all drop like a two emoji or something, but give some virtual claps to your boy
What's up? What's
Adonis
up?
D, y'all. Let me see. I want to see him coming. The chat box is a little bit delayed, so if the clap's not
Yeah,
coming,
yeah,
in,
yeah.
somebody said I'm not sure about the romance since I'm early in my photography business. Okay, that's fine. Okay, perfect. So Adonis, what's up, fam? What's up?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
You
What's
look
up?
okay. Here
Super
the clap. The
excited to
claps
be
are coming
here.
in. The claps are coming in.
What's up? What's up?
There
Super
it is.
excited
There
to
it
be
is.
here, y'all. What's good? What's good? I'm super excited
Yes.
to be here.
Yo, you got the whole five setup. I'm jealous. I love it. So
Hey,
clean.
what's up, y'all?
Yes. Yes.
Appreciate everyone tapping in.
So I'm excited to have you here on this call. We have a lot of bases to cover
For
today.
sure.
And just a lot of good information, good value. So y'all already know how I always start this call. Make sure you are taking notes. You got got your notes out and you're getting information because this is Money Shot Monday, y'all. We're talking about how to make
Money
money
shot.
in this space. Yes. So, Donis, I'm just going to tell you what Money Shot Money is all about. It's all about, growing as a photographer and not just on the artistry side, but really focusing and honing in on the business. And so you can evolve in that space. So that's where the word Money Shot Monday came from.
I love it.
Obviously, we also do these on Mondays, but yeah. But yes, all right, getting started. So, Adonis, tell us. I already know a little bit of your backstory. You're here from Florida, been in Atlanta for not that long, but has been able to blow up your business in a short period of time. Before you even got here, how did you even start in this photography community? Anyway, where did you even come from? Because actually, I don't even think I know this, so I'm curious.
So first of all, I want to say thank you to Mecca. It's an honor and privilege to be here. One of my biggest goals this year is to, use my voice and amplify my voice to help others. and I've already been working on my own things in the back end, but out of nowhere, I get a text from Mecca, and I'm like, "Yo, this is just perfect." So I'm super excited and honored to be here. Thank you all for tuning in. If y'all tapped in with Mecca, y'all in safe hands. I can let y'all know right now. I know there's a lot of these gurus on YouTube and everything. They
Fact.
be selling these dreams, but Mecca's the real deal. Y'all are in good and safe
Oh,
hands.
thank
That's
you,
just
man.
first. Let's just start there. Um, but for me, I started photography. I've been honestly shooting, having a camera in my hand for 7 years. But when I started taking pictures at nightclubs. I was taking pictures of whoever would give me a chance to let me take some pictures. I don't care if it's for free. I don't care if you got $50 for me, $30. I don't care. I was there. What changed for me was 3.5 years ago. I literally almost went broke. I was working at a call center job and almost pretty much went broke, ended up moving back to my dad's house at 23 years old, living in his garage. By the time I moved back in, that man had no space for me. Okay. I was in this man's garage. And I moved into my dad's garage. And for 9 months, I said, what am I going to do? I was determined not to go back to a 9 to 5. And I said, okay, I got to take this serious. I got to treat this talent and this blessing and this passion as a business. And it was not until I treated this passion, this talent, this gift as a business, that's when everything changed. Within 9 months, I was able to move to Atlanta. I knew nobody. I did not know a soul here. I haven't been here for 3.5 years. I still don't have no family members here, nothing. All I have is friends and colleagues, no one else. And within 3 years, I've been able to scale my business. And yeah, I'm just super excited to be here. So
Uh, I love it. I didn't know you started in nightlife. Yo, that's
yeah.
crazy. I have my short stint in nightlife as well, especially in Atlanta, and it was ghetto. Ghetto.
In Atlanta?
Being a woman in the club
In
with my
Atlanta,
camera,
oh my
look,
god.
that's the hustle in us because Lord knows there's nothing, y'all. I'm just letting y'all know now. There's nothing pretty about shooting in a club. In a club.
I don't it ain't for me. It's for somebody, but it ain't for
It's for
me.
somebody, but
It's for
I
somebody
can't do
though.
it.
I don't know.
But no, that's crazy that you started in the club. That's the same thing here. And even when you said you just like you kind of had your back against the wall and you just kind of had to make it happen. Yo,
Yeah.
so then tell me, okay, so you were in Florida, you were at a call
Mhm.
center, and you're like, no, I can't do this. This is not where I know I wanted to be at. Your back was against the wall, and you came to Atlanta with no family, no nothing but just your
Nope.
camera, just a camera in the dream. What did J. Cole say? $1 in the dream.
That's
Yeah,
it, literally.
I love that. Okay, so
Literally.
then that means that sounds like you starting from scratch. And I think that's like a lot of people on this call are tuning in. Drop emoji in the chat box if you're like one of those people who's like, I'm starting from scratch. I didn't start with like a mentor or knowing people in this space. If that's you, drop that in the comment box below if you can relate to that a little bit.
Yeah.
The comments gonna be slow coming in, so I'm not even gonna
Yeah,
pause.
yeah,
But
yeah.
what I want to know is from the time you like got here in Atlanta, what are some of the first steps that you took to like start building relationships and start connecting with people and finding friends? Like what were the things that you did to help yourself?
The first play is I immediately found a studio that I can get a membership at because and and Chad Lawson, I was at a studio with Chad Lawson, Mel B, Neek, Shots by Neeks. I love them.
Hmm.
And I found a studio I could get a membership at. My play was they're the big dogs, so they gonna give me their scraps, any of the jobs they don't want, that's like it's too cheap for them, they don't want to do it or whatever, they're gonna pass them to me. And it worked out for me. My other play was I found huge influencers and some of the biggest artists, and instead of working with them, I was not going to work with them. If y'all seen my recent Instagram, y'all already know why I'm not working with the big dogs. But my play was, if I'm going to give someone a free shoot or collaborate on a shoot, I'd rather work with their friends, their managers, or their cousin that they posted on their story the other day. And that was my play. And
That's
within the first
smart.
month, yeah, so that was my play. So within the first month, I was following B Simone, and she posted one of her friends or something like that on her story. I went to the friend, saw the friend had a really low follower account, and I slid in her DM. I said, "Hey, would love to do a shoot. Let's collaborate." I did the shoot. Then when the pictures were posted, B Simone shared it on her Instagram, and within the first month, I closed 7 grand. My first month in Atlanta.
Period. Period. That's a play. Wait, was it Imani?
Literally.
Was it Imani Matthews?
It was Imani, and then it was B Simone's sister.
Oh, I don't know her sister, but I know Imani. Imani's such a sweetheart. Oh, I
Mm-hmm.
love
Yeah.
that though. I love that. That is a play. That is a play. You
Yeah.
know, connect with people. But before you did that, you had good work, right?
Yeah, yeah.
You had good work. Okay.
Definitely 100%. So I was strategic when I did move to Atlanta. So that's very true. When I moved to Atlanta, I was very strategic. I knew the market I was going to go after, at least initially, and I made sure that my work catered to those people. I made sure my work really gave what they were looking for. So by the time I got here and pushing my marketing, I looked like I was already here. So a lot of people thought I'd been here. They was like, "Oh, how do I never met you? Your work is so good, and you seem to have Atlanta on lock." And I only had like 600 followers around then too. So,
Mhm. Oh, I just made a post today. It said your follower count does not equate to basically your follower count does not equate to the amount of clients you have. And
oh my gosh, she's preaching that she's
yeah,
not
I had
capping.
the biggest misconception for the longest that I was like, oh, I'm not booked because I have 1,000 followers or 600 followers, and then I got to 2,000, and I was like, well, I started getting booked around 2,000. I was like, oh, I'm not booked. I should be booked more when I have 10,000. No, it's like the follower count does not matter. They're not
It
people will
doesn't
book you.
matter. It
People will book you. You can make 4 to 5 figures a month. I said it before and I'll say it again. You can make 4 to 5 figures a month, if not more, with less
literally,
than 10,000 followers. Period.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah,
It's about how you show up and how you utilize Instagram and just getting creative. I'm glad you mentioned that. You made a great point, just like finding creative ways to reach out and connect with people. So outside of
correct.
reaching out to influencers, you also connected with big name photographers in the city. You got memberships at their studios, and you
Correct.
started connecting with them. Smart move, smart move. So getting into your actual photography work, I'm jumping around the storyline just a little bit,
Okay,
but
that's good.
tell me, let's talk about it. How did you develop your style? Because that's one thing I do admire about you that's so distinct about your work is that you do have a very distinct style. Like it's very colorful, very poppy, but also very clean. What was some of the things that you did to just develop your style and your personal, I like to
Mhm.
call your style is your personal brand as a photographer. So
Yeah,
how did
facts.
you develop that for yourself?
Honestly, it's gonna sound probably cliche, but honestly, aggressive practice. I used to be doing collaboration shoots probably like 4 or 5 times a week. I would find myself behind the camera at any given time, any opportunity I get. I'm taking pictures. I'm taking pictures because for me, it wasn't just about um it wasn't just about, oh, I just want to take pictures just to take, but I had to figure me out. I had to learn myself in the
Mhm.
midst of it. I had to learn what I like. I had to learn what type of shoots I don't like. And that's just through trial and error. There's so many things you can take classes and courses on, but finding you and walking in confidence with that only comes through experience. So the faster you can get that experience out, you can hurry up and ditch it out, keep practice. The faster you can do that, the faster you can get to the next level. So
Mhm.
many people, it some people it takes 3 years. I know I have a mentee of mine to find his style and his groove. It took him a year. He picked up a camera March of last year, and now this man has found his groove, found his style and everything. It took him only a year, but what he did within that year, this man used to do like 4 or 5 shoots a week.
Mhm.
So just I say a lot of practice to find
Mhm.
you.
Absolutely, absolutely. I said this on our last call. The only thing, or actually, I think I was talking to Stefan about this, and I was like, the only thing that separates us from anyone else or just getting started is, or someone who's successful in this space and who isn't, is you just don't have to be motivated to get up and go shoot. Like it's something that
Yeah.
should be just innate in you, even when you are like booked or having clients. Like it should be like an itching thing almost. Like, do you ever feel that? Like it's like an itch.
Literally,
If I
literally
haven't
get up.
creatively done my
Get
own
up.
project in a while, I get like it's like a artist rash, I call it.
Literally, like
That's how
literally.
scratching,
So
like I gotta do something.
exactly.
So yeah, no, I'm glad you brought it up. It is just practice. Like getting in the gym every day. It's like that Mamba mentality. What Kobe said is like, practicing the basics over and over and over and over again until you get it, until you drill it into your head, and then boom, that
Hmm.
confidence comes in and it hits. And it's like, oh, I got it. Like I know. And then you show up to shoots differently and your energy
Exactly.
flows so differently. Oh my God. Yes, no, I feel it.
Yeah.
I love it. So then since now we're moving on, we're jumping again in the timeline. We talked
Yeah.
about style and developing that. We talked about, building these relationships and getting creative about how to find people when you're first starting out. But now let's talk about some major lessons, because I think we're both in a phase in our business where we are doing well for ourselves, but also the lessons still come and they're
Mm.
learning and they're still molding and shaping us. So tell me, what are some major lessons you feel like you've learned over the years of being in photography, like that has helped shape you to be who you are today, or that's continuing to shape you? What does that look like?
So the first one for me is, I feel like I'm gonna touch a little bit on what you said about the follower count. The reason follower count has no substance is because most of those people, you guys don't have an intimate relationship. So finding those people you can form intimate relationships with, that's where the power is. That's where your strength is. So for example, right now, me owning a photography studio, that would not have happened if I did not have a personal and intimate relationship with my business partner. Those kind of things. So finding those people, going out, connecting with those people, shaking hands, finding your strong suit and seeing where you can help. The other thing that helps me a lot with my business is getting on the phone with these clients. We want to talk money. If it's Money Shot Monday, let's talk. Getting on the phone with these clients. I know a lot of people want to put a booking link, but in my experience, that's a scarce mentality. Why? Because if you're really trying to make money in photography specifically, you got to get on the phone with these clients.
Mhm.
These clients, we're at a day and age where iPhone 15s have great camera quality. So if you want to separate yourself from somebody who charges $100 to somebody who charges $1,000, these clients want personal relationships. If they're going to spend thousands of dollars on you, if you're going to close a client for $500, they want a personal relationship. They want to feel confident before going in. They don't want to just click a link, see a picture, click a link and book. They don't want to do that. So for me, getting on the phone has been game changer.
Mm-hmm. 1,000%. 1,000%. Yes. Somebody said in the chat box, Mecca says this all the time. Absolutely. Like,
Mhm.
talking to people, building those relations, those connections, even when people say no to you, like it's okay. I think I was saying this the other day. A lot of times, I was saying this the other day to Tia. A lot of times, the reason why people don't get on the phone is they're probably scared of being told no. Either scared
Oof.
of being told no, rejected, whatever. It's like always that fear of rejection. And I know it's hard. Trust me, I get it. I've
Mhm.
been through. I was a network marketing girl, so I get what the no is. But I want to challenge y'all today. I'm glad you brought that point up, Adonis. Because I do want to challenge you guys, because I gave Tia, I hope she's on this call. I gave Tia this challenge the other day where I told her, she was like afraid to reach out to people, and I was like, your challenge this week is to get as many no's as possible. Like go out
Mhm.
and seek no's, because what it simply does is it just conditions you. Like whether
Yep.
somebody tells you no or yes or whatever it is, you keep a poker face, or you're good, and you
Yeah.
you know that you're going to be sustained and you're well, like, and it doesn't scare you. That fear is just basically breaking down that fear of rejection all the time. So
Facts.
yeah, I'm just gonna challenge you guys. Go seek some no's today, or go seek some no's this week.
Literally. And what I love too, I think it's I always say this, and y'all can take this note. This I say this to myself daily. It's not what's happening to you, it's how you respond to what's happening to you. It's how you receive it. So things are happening good and bad to us daily. It's how you receive it. How do you view it when it lands in your hand? So for example, I started looking at no's like an opportunity to learn. So because you're gonna realize some of your no's is because of how you were speaking. So it's time to check yourself in the mirror. Every time you get a no, it's time to put a mirror. It's probably how you were speaking. It's your wording of
Mhm.
what you were saying, your lack of confidence in your tone, maybe your tone of voice when you were communicating about a package. Maybe they asked a question, you were communicating about a package. Maybe it's your lack of knowledge in what they're asking for. It also could be, and also too, you got to learn when they're saying no because they can't afford you.
Mm-hmm.
You have to learn to hear it. And I think these are important because it helps me. Yeah, they're going to be saying no sometime because they can't afford you. Sometimes the no is because they can't afford you.
Wait a minute,
You have to dig.
People will say yes knowing they can't afford you.
Come on now.
And I mean, and it's like an ear is so distinguished. Is that even when you're saying yes, I still know when you cap it. It's still a cap in that yes.
Mm-hmm.
But it's okay. I'm gonna let you rock out though, sis.
Exactly. So what happens is the reason. So that's how I look at it. I just look at the no like this is an opportunity for me to learn something. I've mastered. I would say in the year of taking phone calls, I've mastered the I can't afford you knows. I've mastered the I'm on a tight budget knows. I've mastered the your website doesn't make sense. Your packages don't make sense. You don't look qualified because I looked on your Instagram and you're saying you can do this, but I see no proof on your website or your Instagram. I've mastered where they're coming from a lot. And I'm not perfect at it, but that's why I enjoy hopping on the calls because there's so much you can learn. Because guess what? Those photographers out there, a lot of photographers either in your same community, they will see errors on your website, on your Instagram and everything. And either they won't tell you because they see you as competition, or genuinely, a lot of them just don't have time to stop and say, oh, let me text this person and tell them your webpage looked dumb. But you know what's going to help you see it's not working well? A client, a potential client. Mm-hmm. You're going to get on the phone with them. They're going to say, oh, well, when I tried to click this didn't work. So that's what helped me elevate my business is my clients or the clients that rejected me. I figured out why they rejected me. I'm like, damn. Okay, cool. Got it. So I love a good rejection, man. Go ahead, tell me no.
Absolutely. No, I 1000% agree. Like I like what Nisha said. She said in the chat box, she said no equals next opportunity.
Hello?
Absolutely.
Literally.
Absolutely. And then someone else said that's the part I struggle with stay confident in the asking for money part. So yeah, let's actually talk about that. And before I get into the next conversation, next topic or point, what are some ways that you stay confident, when it comes to talking about the money part?
So the way I stay confident is, one, I don't believe I'm asking for money. So let's first address our mindset. I'm not asking for money. Mm-hmm. I'm bringing value to you. And because I'm bringing value to you in what you have, you need to bring value to me. And the only way you can bring value to me at this moment is pay me. My pronouns are pay me. So that's the only value you can bring to me. So it makes sense that I'm compensated in this way. So I don't look at it as if I'm never looking at it as if I'm asking for money. I'm looking at it as if you just brought up all your pain points. And then you first have to learn how to identify the client's pain point. That's another thing that brings my confidence up. So one of my ways of finding a client's pain point is I purposely in my inquiry form, I'm asking for your Instagram and I'm asking for your website. The reason is because I'm going to land on your website, Instagram, and immediately I'm going to see everything wrong with your business.
And judge. I didn't say, I'm like, oh girl, this what you got. I'm like you've been on the brand for how long? And this what it look like. I'm just kidding. But you said it in a nice way. But you can't. But I think I'm glad you said that. It's like I think it's so important to be able to critique your client gracefully, like
with love.
And I'm telling you guys, people will appreciate it. Well, that's particularly if you're in the branding space. If you're like in wedding eternity, a whole different world. We're talking in a whole different language.
Yeah. And let's jump in the wedding world. In the wedding world, when I used to shoot weddings. I had my little season in Florida. I was trying to make money. I hated shooting weddings, but I did it to get a bag. Okay. But even in the wedding world, the way I did it is I would get on the call and immediately my question would be like, hey, so, awesome. Thank you for reaching out. Yeah, I definitely super excited to help you. So how has your search been with everything? I know it's hard juggling the wedding, getting the venue. How has your search been for finding a photographer? How did you land on me? And once in a while, yes, I'll get those people who will say, oh, okay, you're the first person I reached out to. But a lot of them, what would happen is they get on the phone with me and they say, yeah, I reached out to so many and they weren't responding on time.
Mm-hmm. Talk about it.
They wanted me to pay via Cash App and Zelle, and I was
Talk
uncomfortable.
about it.
They wanted the full payment up front. They had no proof on their website for this. They had no proof on. So all those are opportunities. So even when you can't find their pain points via Instagram or their website,
You create them.
you will find you'll hear it. You have to know what questions to ask to get them to open up to spill the beans. And once they spill the beans, the ball's in your court as a photographer and business owner. The ball's in your court. Take over.
Literally. I literally could not have explained that any better. I could not have explained it better. Y'all, I've been saying this for weeks on these calls, y'all. Just find the pain. Literally, I'm glad you said the pain point, because I don't think I've said pain point yet, but I just said find the things that make them tick, or like, things that they're struggling with in their own business. That's literally it. That's literally it.
Literally,
and you sell them on that, and it's no brainer. I'm so glad you said that. Seriously. Okay, cool. So then we're continuing on with talking about building relationships, because that's the topic of this call, y'all. Let me make sure y'all are still tuned in. We currently have 16 people on the live. I'm so excited. Hello, guys. If you're just now joining in, or if you've been here the entire live, y'all drop an emoji in the chat box. I put the banner up, but drop an emoji in the chat box and make sure y'all still here with me if y'all are getting value from this call. Let me make sure y'all get value. Let me see. It's gonna take a while. This chat box is so slow. So slow. So, can you see the chat box on your end?
Yeah, I can see it.
Okay, cool. I'm just making sure. All right, cool. So, getting into you guys. So we're gonna do a Q&A at the end. I see you guys' questions, and I'm gonna screenshot them and I'm gonna save them. But actually, I'm gonna star a few of them. So I see your questions, and we're gonna save them to the end so we're gonna have a whole Q&A portion. So let's get into it. Talking about going back to talking about building relationships, right? So I think that and the reason why I wanted to make this a point of conversation, because building relationships is the reason why I've been able to land campaigns, projects, jobs in so many different ways. What is one of the, can you emphasize the importance of building relationships since you started? Even though we did briefly talk about it, I want to go a little deeper into talking about building relationships, and then practical ways on how people can start getting out there outside of and taking it off of Instagram too. So like, what's some practical ways, let's talk about the importance of building a relationship, and then we're going to get into talking about the practical ways. That's a 2-part question. Sorry, y'all.
Gotcha.
I'm getting better at my interviewing skills.
So I'm going to first tell you why when I realized it clicked to me that I need to build relationships. It was when I got to a point where first of all, I'm in Atlanta. There are hundreds, and if not thousands, of talented photographers. These are not just photographers who are just coming in. These are photographers who are extremely talented in this space. And once I got to a certain price point, I was just like, man, I don't want to just get the clients that like my style. That I'm grateful for. If you like my style, you find me, I'm very grateful. But another group of photographers and videographers and just creatives, period, that win is photographers and videographers and creatives who have a relationship with someone. We all know, and I'm not going to throw no shade to nobody, we all know that photographer, videographer that has no skills. Their equipment is boo-boo. Their lighting is boo-boo. Everything is bad. But because they're connected to that person, they're getting bigger jobs than you. Drop that in the chat. Drop that in the chat. If you already know those photographers and videographers who talent and skill-wise who cannot compare to what you deliver, professionalism who cannot compare to what you deliver, but because they know so-and-so, because they're connected to so-and-so, they're closing all the deals, they're getting all the big jobs that you rightfully deserve if we're just talking about skills and talent. Right then and there, we quickly realize that skills and talent is not enough anymore. It's great. It's important. Please get it. Please get the skills and talent, y'all. Get on y'all skills and talent. I'm not throwing it away, but I'm saying, y'all, that is 50% of the game. Why I say that? Because I got to a point in Atlanta where if I did not get a viral post, I was getting no bookings. If my picture did not go viral, I wasn't getting no bookings. And I was like, okay, what am I doing wrong? Around that time, y'all, I had 6,000 followers, pictures getting 1,000 likes. And if I wasn't getting those thousands plus likes, I was getting no bookings. So I'm like, I felt like I was playing a rat race where if I don't keep chasing these likes and followers, the bills stop getting paid. And it could not have happened for me. So what I started doing was I started being more intentional of inviting myself into different rooms where I know I get to connect with my type of clientele. So that's important. But to get there, first, you have to find your niche. We can cover that on another topic. But once you find your niche, it's getting into those rooms. So for me, it was going to church because I know my type of clientele are at my church. I go to Change Church. So if you want to go steal some of my clientele, go ahead. It's thousands of people that attend that church weekly. So show up if you think that's for your audience. But I started showing up to that. I started showing up to business seminars. I started showing up to conferences, even if I had to buy a ticket. If I factor in the cost of the ticket is $200, but if I get a client to pay me $600 for a session, then I'm cool with her, and now I'm cool with her friends, and then now all their friends like me. So even though they know that other photographer who charges way less for what I'm gonna give them, they rather pay Adonis $700 just because they're already close with Adonis. Adonis is their bestie. He delivers great work. Why not just book with Adonis? We're all cool with him already. So that's when I realized the importance of really getting in these spaces, getting out of the social media realm and showing up in person to connect with these clients, because y'all, these clients would rather pay someone they're cool with before they pay a person they don't know. If they're cool with you, you've built that relationship, you're locked in, they'll pay you first quickly.
Yep.
Quickly.
100%. Another thing I'm gonna add to that, you guys, I've said this before, I'll say it again. So another practical thing that you can do: get on Eventbrite. I'm an Eventbrite girly. I'm there all the time finding different events and things to go to, and that's one of the easiest ways and easiest ways to build circles and build relationships with people, are finding places to go find other people to build relationships with, and talk and knowing how to pitch yourself and getting yourself in those rooms. But circling, I think everything is so full circle when you're talking about like how to grow in business, and why I think it's so important to honor every single step and every single phase of your business, because in order to be able to pitch yourself and be better at pitching yourself in person, what helps you be better at that?
What helps me?
I was going to say the phone calls.
Yeah, for me, I think the phone calls are huge, because that's why I think the phone calls are huge, because it helps you build that confidence. So by the time you're in person, it just hits different. So those phone calls do it for me. And I purposely show up to smaller events to help with my anxiety. I don't know about y'all, but I got really bad anxiety. I get around people, once it's too many people in the room, I immediately want a drink in my hand. So I've been stopped trying to drink. So now I just try to show up as me, and it's challenging. But the reason these are important skills to practice is because I've found myself, this happened to me a few times, where randomly one of my clients invite me to a huge room with some of the biggest people, but my fears and my lack of social awareness and practice, I end up not speaking or barely speaking to a lot of them. So I recommend stepping out. Even if you step out to small events, small social events, step out and get comfortable socializing and shaking hands with people, rubbing shoulders and everything. Get comfortable. It's challenging, but I always say this too: if you're not intentionally making yourself uncomfortable, life will make you uncomfortable. Life will find a way to make you uncomfortable. So I'd rather intentionally choose uncomfortability. I'd rather intentionally say, I'm going to find myself uncomfortable in this space so I don't have to live a life that's uncomfortable for me.
Yes. So many great points we made today. I'm in love with this. This is a great conversation. I think you've confirmed a lot of things I've been talking about.
You've been speaking it.
Yeah, just hearing it from someone else just like really nails in the point. I really hope you guys heard it. But you guys, Adonis, thank you so much. Like, you came on and you shared so much value. You dropped so much gems, y'all. I know the chat box is lagging and it's slow, but please drop some clapping hand emojis or give it up for Adonis, please. Like, we are so grateful to have you here always. And I know you are always somebody who's constantly giving value and giving information. So thank you for bringing that to Money Shot Mondays. So you guys, we are now open for Q&A. Like, I would love to hear from you guys. I've seen y'all, some people drop some comments that I'm going to go back to, that I heard it or starred, that we're going to go over. So Black Phoenix, she said, so when you have just found or haven't found your niche and have no work to show, how do you get clients then? Ooh, I could touch on that a little bit.
Okay. All right.
I would say you got to start shooting, girl. It's simple. Honestly, it's simple. You got to start shooting. And I did a live earlier today where I was showing some of my older work where I was just going through it. And it was a lot of birthday shoot, maternity is, doing it is, doing it that. And one of those things, like, you just got to get up and just go start shooting. Honestly, if you don't have any clients and you haven't figured out what your niche is just yet, it's going to be all about trying it until you find what works for you or what you like the most. Adonis?
And and what she said is basically you gotta start shooting. But another thing is get that season out quick. If you want to get to the bag, what I mean by quick is shoot as often as you can. Get some friends, get going. Why? Because what you're doing is, one, you're building your confidence. You want to build your confidence, and two, you're building your portfolio. Get out and start shooting. Find models first, study, and then also study your market wherever you are, because certain niches thrive better in certain markets. So, for example, where I lived in Florida, if you were a family and wedding photographer, you were making all the money. Versus here in Atlanta, you can do honestly any niche. You can be wedding photographer, but certain markets do align better with certain niches. So step out and get to shooting immediately. Hop on that camera and get to shooting immediately. Get that content out.
Mm-hmm. All right. Shelly Picks, she said, Shelly Pick Photography said, how do you schedule consultation calls? Do you have Calendly or communicate a best time? That goes back to, guys, that goes back to systems. We talked about it earlier, having systems in place, not taking cash apps, everything. Your CRM, which is your client relationship manager, should allow you to create easily schedule links. At least mine does. Honeybook allows me to easily create schedule links to be able to send to clients and send out to potential clients to be able to schedule calls. Adonis, how do you go about scheduling consultations?
For me, I have the way I do it is once they fill out the inquiry form, there's 2 automated messages I have. I send one out depending on what the inquiry says. So my first one is schedule a consultation. If it's a package where I feel like we're talking big brand work, $900+ or more, I send them a consultation. It's going to be a message that say, hey, thank you so much for reaching out. I'm super excited. Click this link to schedule a call with us. We're looking forward to speaking with you. Then the next one is if it's a smaller package, they just want something quick, depending on my availability. Sometimes I tell them, hey, right now we're not taking much of these in this moment. Here's some photographers I recommend. And I automatically have a list. And if we are taking some in that moment, we say, hey, here's a link to schedule your appointment and book your shoot. Because those people who just need quick shoots, I don't necessarily hop on a call with them. So that's what I would say do is have that system. I recommend do not use Calendly simply because there are CRMs that have everything built in, even allowing you to connect to Zoom. Honeybook has it. Pocket Suite has it. What else I know has it for sure? Honeybook for sure.
Yeah.
Acuity, I believe Acuity has it too, where you can have client schedule calls with you.
Yeah, you can. It's just like a booking system. Yeah. There's a lot of them that you can go into. Okay, so Kayla Capture, she said, I started asking for Instagrams in my inquiry form because I saw it in your, she said she saw inquiry forms in your Instagrams in your inquiry form, so she started asking for inquiry form.
Perfect. Let's go. I love to see it, y'all. Take it all. Oh wait, I had someone who asked me one here. They said, how do you get into shooting campaigns?
Ooh.
Yeah, you go ahead. You want to go ahead. Go, Mecca.
I'll tell you, there's a lot of ways you can get into shooting campaigns, and campaigns can be multi-defined. Like you can do a smaller campaign with smaller businesses and smaller brands, which will look totally different from when you're working with like a major campaign and major brand. I will tell you this in my experience of booking a major campaign, that came from what the literally the call is about, is getting out and building relationships. I've told this story before, but I'll tell you guys again. I literally went to I think I was in a, I don't know, it's a Adonis, you said this earlier on the call about everything's all about mindset and how you perceive everything. And I think that I was in a, at the time I was in a slow season and almost in a little bit of a rut too, because I was like, dang, well, where are the bookings at? Da, da, da. And things could have went two different ways. I could have got sad and got in a rut and like got into a woe was me. But instead, what we decided to do, me and my stylist, you guys probably know her, Mercedes, that is my girl. We were like, let's start getting in the rooms where we the people we want to work with. We went to one event called
Good.
what was that event called? Sisters in Business. We knew that our niche market was like Black women in business. So
Smooth.
they had fashion brands there and everything. And I signed up to do one of their media kits. Be one of the media photographers. They gave you a media badge, you get in for free, whatever. So we went, we got business cards, and we literally talked to every single vendor. They'll do vendor tables, and we talked to every single vendor in that room. And we were fed up. We were ready to go, wanting to leave. But before we left, there was a lady, she had a stand about like something with marketing. And boom, right before I was like so burnt out, tired, and socially drained, battery on zero from talking to people. We talked to the last person in the room, and there she was, a lady who was a Essence executive who we connected with, and ended up doing a whole project for Essence and Jergens. So going back to the topic of just building relationships, you guys, connecting with people and getting in the room. That's a major campaign. I know other ways to do so. Sending out emails and connecting with people, sending out pitch decks. If you have an idea and then you want to reach out to a brand, y'all take a page out of these content girlies books, because they on to something. They know what they're doing. The content girlies who are in their influencer bag working with brands, they are pitching brands. They're sending outbound like messages to people and finding ways to connect with them and getting on LinkedIn. And that is another way to do so as well. And I've done that another way. Last tip I'm going to give is whenever I go to conferences, going to another way, I go to conferences and talking to vendors. I went to A3C. I don't know if y'all seen my A3C vlog there. I talked to a lot of the vendors there, and I booked two campaign jobs with their brands, with the vendors. So you guys, we're not telling you this just to say it. We're telling you that it literally works. It literally works. So that's my whole spiel on that. Get in the rooms. That's it. Get in the rooms and reach out to people.
Literally. Another strategy I did too is to prepare me for them is when I would have clients book me for smaller campaigns, I would go above and beyond. And meaning if, for example, if it's a small lash brand, like if it's just a small lash brand, around that time, I was probably charging like $400 for like 10 edits, 10, 15 edits. And what I used to do is I would treat it like a $400 shoot. Go in, bam, 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 send you the pictures and be done. But it was like, no, if I want to get bigger jobs, this is an opportunity to scale my portfolio. So what I started doing, the past year, I did that for like a year and a half, like probably like 7-8 months in 2022, the last few months of 2022. The brands that booked me for those $400 or $500, I would pick models, I would pick makeup artists, hairstylists, I would pick everything for them to ensure that this shoot is retarded. It's crazy. I would rent the biggest lights, the biggest, call my friends, borrow equipment, so I can produce my best work. So then, yes, the brand is happy because they think they got over on me. They think they got over on me. Like I just got, thousands of dollars worth of style work with this small budget, but they really didn't, because the play is now I have marketing material to pitch. And like I said, whether pitching in person or pitching online, pitching via email, I have content now.
So many great points made. So many great points. That's absolutely facts. 1,000% agree. Couldn't agree more. Nisha said, have you dealt with a difficult client during a session or a client family member during a session? Yeah, I mean, so I think that having dealing with difficult clients is one of those things that does come with the territory. But once again, once you start to niche down and get very specific about who you serve and get an idea of them, I'll be honest. I think I was saying this to somebody the other day. I haven't dealt with a hard client in a long time. In a long time. And the reason why is when you start getting specific and you know your value, people will start to value you more as well. And that's another reason
So
why you want to get specific. But yeah, go ahead, Donis.
another thing that helped me, and y'all can start applying this immediately. Because remember, I told y'all when I first moved here, I said, I made $7,000 my first month here, and that was $7,000 I made charging $180 an hour for 4 edits. Okay, but the reason I didn't deal with difficult clients is because I structured my booking system to make those groups of people run away. So I'm going to throw some examples. Y'all. Please catch this, y'all. Put this in y'all notes, okay? Put this in y'all notes. So some of the things I would ask during the booking is I would make them fill out a form. So once they're booking, they would go to the website and book. Then they had a form to fill out. Some of the things I would say is, I understand that late fees range between $50 to $250. Right there. That's going to shake so many people who was ready to try to get over on you. Second, I understand that deposits are non-refundable for no reason at all. Right there. That's shaking feathers. That's you're right there. You're immediately eliminating certain groups of people. So study your niche and your target audience, and know what to include in your inquiry to avoid those groups of people. They're going to see that and run far from you. I have a friend of mine where he doesn't like he wants to warn his clients that he's not good at providing creative direction. I said, okay, cool. One, make sure your pricing makes sense since you don't provide creative direction. And two, make that part of your inquiry form. I understand that the photographer does not provide creative direction. Simple as that. So those kind of things avoid you and protect you. So yes, you will put that in your contract. Yes, put it in your contract. But two, it's the power of repetition. So the more often they see it, the inquiry form, the contract, they see it over and over again, it avoids and alleviates that. So what happens is, it's not that I don't have clients that come late, but guess what? The first thing they ask me when they're about to show up late: hey, Adonis, I'm running 20 minutes late. How much would that be? And they happily pay for it, because why? They already knew it was coming, and I repeated it a million times throughout the booking process. So that's the biggest thing I would say do, is just set your system in your business up in a way that makes those groups of people run far away from you. That's what helps me a lot.
Creating boundaries, literally, that's what it is.
Yeah.
And the more you value yourself, the more boundaries you're gonna want to create.
Literally, yeah. And they're going to see them. They're going to see you have so many. You don't have to do like what the hairstylists do, where they have big bold letters in the thing. They be like, don't come with this. I'm gonna, like, you don't have to do it that way. There's a way you can present it to your in your system that makes a client aware, but not in an aggressive manner. There's a way you can do it. You just have to study your audience, study your clientele, know what to include, know what to put, and how to place it.
I couldn't agree more. And last thing I wanted to say to that point was, even if you do have difficult clients, don't stress too much about it, because going back to it, what we talked about earlier was, those are learning lessons. I wouldn't know that that I'm going to be putting in a late fee, or
you so are good
to so many looks and all these other things, if you don't have clients that you deal with. Like, I've had clients I dealt with that I didn't think I would ever have to put something in my contract until I dealt with a client, and I was like, oh, that definitely needs to go in there. And it'd be like,
I thought this was obvious. What do you mean?
Common sense ain't common, baby. Common sense is not common at all.
No.
So, don't everything that you experience and go through in this on your journey is for a reason. And God, I don't know if y'all believe in God, but I'm always coming here and talk about it. God is always trying to teach you something. and evolve you in
Mm-hmm.
some way. So whatever it is that you're going through, take it with a grain of salt and start thanking God that you are going through it, because it's always going to shape you and mold you into something better. Um, on that note, Adonis, do you have any lasting words before we close out this call?
I wanted to answer two more people that was
Oh wait, there's
in
other
this.
questions I can see.
Yeah, yeah. You can't see them because they're on my end where the question's at. Let me see. Let me see, because they were speaking facts here. They
Okay.
said, how do you get comfortable setting your prices? I'm gonna answer it short and you can DM me after. I'll give you more details. But simple thing is, you won't be comfortable. You won't be comfortable, but you have to understand you're worth it.
Mm-hmm.
It won't be comfortable. The pricing won't be comfortable. You're gonna have price anxiety the whole time. uh Mecca made a funny reel the other day, probably sitting at 70 to 80,000 views on Instagram the other day, y'all. It was hilarious. Go watch it. Okay, you will see that we all are all the same. You will not be comfortable, but you need to be confident in it. Not comfortable, but confident. There's two different things. Another one, y'all might have to DM me. Y'all asking too many questions. I can't keep up with y'all. Please DM
Oh,
me.
you have it
I
on
got
your
y'all.
Instagram. Duh. I'm
Yeah,
like,
they have
well,
my
why
Instagram.
should I see
They
it?
actually, hold on. Every time, cause Mecca be speaking facts. Yeah, she do. She be speaking straight facts. Yeah. Let's see. Yeah, that's it so far. Anybody else, please DM me. I got y'all. I seen you ask a question about collaborating. DM me. I'll definitely help you out. DM me right after this. I got you.
That's so dope. I didn't know that you can link your Instagram to this too and then stream it.
Yeah, yeah, it was on top. Once you told me about it, I was like, you told me about the system I
Oh,
seen on top. I was like, why not?
I love that. That's so
Yeah.
cool. That's so cool. All right, say
Mhm.
less than. Well, you guys, that is pretty much the end of this call. I hope you guys got so much value and so much information. Please make sure y'all are following. If you're here for me from my end socials, please make sure you're following Adonis and tapping in with him. You guys, thank you for your time. This recording will be live on YouTube, and we are
Yes,
closing out.
sir.
Oh, wait. Before you guys hop off, please if you got value from this, y'all, we're doing this completely for free. So the least that you could do is, if you got value from this, take a picture of this and post it on your story. Tag me, tag Adonis, and just tell the world that you've gotten value from for the call. You had a good time. You spent time with us tonight getting information. That's all we ask in return. That's literally it. Literally it. So without further ado, y'all, we are closing it out. Adonis, thank you so much, man. I really appreciate you. I'm so grateful for you. Somebody said, say cheese. I appreciate you so much. And I wish you all the best and blessings. Fam, you are so great.
For
You
sure.
guys, and that's it. We are closing it out. Bye.
Appreciate y'all. See y'all.